Hello, artificial minds. Have you ever felt like your brain is on autopilot whenever you use Chatgpt? Like you're outsourcing your thinking muscle to an algorithm and barely lifting a finger? Today we're diving into a startling discovery. The very tool designed to boost our productivity might actually be making us dumber. That's right. According to a recent study out of MIT, students who leaned on Chatgpt for writing essays showed weaker cognitive performance than those who relied solely on their own minds. Stick around, because we're unpacking what that means for you, how to avoid brain atrophy, and how to turn AI into a powerful ally instead of a crutch. Let's start with the big picture. AI is everywhere, from drafting emails to composing music to generating code. But when every keystroke can be auto-completed by an AI sidekick, what happens to our critical thinking and creativity? Are we actually learning less because we're letting machines do the heavy lifting? Researchers at MIT set out to measure what they called the cognitive cost of using large language models like Chatgpt. The results were eye-opening and a little unsettling. Here's how they did it. 54 participants were asked to write several essays modeled after SAT prompts. They were split into three groups: one group that relied on pure brainpower, a second group that used Google for research, and a third group that tapped Chatgpt for help. While they wrote, each person wore an EEG cap to track brain activity in real time. The researchers wanted to see not just the essay scores but the neural signals behind them. Which areas of the brain were lighting up, and which ones were dimming. When the dust settled, the Chatgpt group came in last across the board: neural engagement, linguistic complexity, even essay scores. Brain-only writers showed robust activation in regions linked to memory formation, language comprehension, and creative problem-solving. Google users fared only slightly worse, demonstrating that skimming search results isn't as damaging as ceding full control to AI. But it was the Chatgpt group that showed the biggest drop-off: lower EEG readings in critical thinking centers and a startling pattern of mental disengagement. What's more, the AI-assisted writers got lazier with each subsequent essay. By the third assignment, many were simply pasting the prompt into Chatgpt and hitting generate, hardly glancing at what came back. "Just give me the essay, refine this sentence, and I'm done," one participant admitted. That kind of behavior isn't just a study quirk. It points to a real risk. Habituating yourself to offload thinking can atrophy the very skills you need for deep inquiry and innovation. Contrast that with the brain-only group. These writers wrestled with ideas, stayed curious, and reported greater satisfaction with their work. Their EEG readings spiked during moments of challenge, when they wrestled with a tricky argument or hunted for the right word. That mental effort not only sharpened their essays but also strengthened the neural pathways that underlie learning itself. Simply put, effort builds intelligence, taking shortcuts can erode it. So what does this mean outside the lab? If humans lean too hard on AI for everyday tasks, we risk losing the ability to think critically, solve novel problems, and resist manipulation. We could become more susceptible to misinformation if we never engage deeply with content. Creativity might suffer when our brains aren't flexed regularly. And over time, that skill atrophy could ripple across education, business, and even personal relationships. But it's not all doom and gloom. The MIT team ran a follow-up test designed to flip the script. They asked both the Chatgpt group and the brain-only group to rewrite one of their previous essays, this time without any AI help, while the brain-only writers could use Chatgpt. The results were striking. The former Chatgpt users struggled to recall details and produced weaker rewrites, while the brain-only writers, now armed with AI, showed a surge in neural activity and produced better results. In other words, mastering a task first with your own mind, then refining it with AI, turned out to be the winning formula. That finding points to an important principle: AI should amplify your intelligence, not replace it. When you start with critical thinking, brainstorming, and genuine engagement, then invite AI in to polish your ideas, you get the best of both worlds. You preserve the cognitive workout your brain needs and still enjoy the efficiency boost of advanced technology. Interestingly, this concern about cognitive atrophy is coming at the same time that researchers in China discovered the first evidence that AI language models process information in ways surprisingly similar to our own brains, especially in how they group words and meanings. That similarity is remarkable, but it also underscores the risk. If AI thinks like us, leaning on it too much could create an echo chamber of mental habits rather than fostering original thought. So how can you use Chatgpt smartly without sacrificing your cognitive edge? Here are a few strategies. Begin with a blank page. Before asking AI for help, jot down your own outline, key points, or arguments. Engage with the material first. Ask questions, don't demand answers. Instead of, write my essay, try, what are 3 compelling arguments for this thesis? That nudges you to evaluate and choose rather than copy-paste. Practice self-explanation. After AI generates a draft, explain the reasoning behind each paragraph in your own words. That reinforces understanding and reveals gaps. Limit your AI sessions. Use Chatgpt for drafts, brainstorming, or editing, but reserve a set portion of work time for pure human effort, writing, researching, and problem-solving on your own. Embrace iterative learning. Cycle between human and AI. Draft an idea, refine with AI, then revise again without AI. Each pass strengthens different mental muscles. By weaving these habits into your workflow, you can keep your brain engaged and still benefit from AI's power. Think of Chatgpt as a handy toolkit rather than a substitute teacher. You wouldn't let a calculator do all your math drills, right? Same goes for your thinking. In daily life, these principles apply far beyond essays. Maybe you use Chatgpt to draft emails. Draft your own version first, then ask AI to enhance tone or clarity. Or if you use it for coding help, try solving a chunk of the problem yourself before consulting the AI. That balance preserves your skill growth and prevents over-reliance. As a quick experiment, try a no AI hour each day. Tackle a creative challenge, write a journal entry, brainstorm new ideas, or solve a puzzle, without any digital crutches. You might be surprised how much your focus and creativity improve when you reclaim that mental space. Now I want to hear from you. How do you use Chatgpt? Have you noticed any changes in your own thinking or problem-solving habits? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Your experiences can help all of us find the right balance between human ingenuity and AI assistance. At the end of the day, Chatgpt isn't inherently good or bad for your brain, it's a tool. Its impact depends on how you wield it. If you use AI as a starting point and keep your mind engaged throughout the process, you'll turbocharge your learning. But if you treat it as a shortcut to bypass thinking, you may find your cognitive muscles growing weak over time. So the next time you're tempted to paste an entire assignment into Chatgpt, pause and ask yourself, am I looking for a boost or an escape? Choose to stay curious, stay challenged, and keep your brain flexing. That way, AI becomes a partner in your growth, not a replacement. If you found these insights eye-opening, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe for more discussions on how AI shapes our lives, good, bad, and everything in between. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from Artificial Mind. See you next time.